This is a short presentation on acid nomenclature. When you're naming acids or writing the formulas for acids, it's all about the anion. It determines what the name is, and it determines what the formula is. If you're going from a formula to a name, the first thing you need to do is to name the anion, or of course the negative ion. If the anion ends in "ide", then start the acid name with hydro, then the root of the anion, then "ic". For example, HCN, the anion is cyanide, so the acid name is hydrocyanic acid. If the anion ends in "ate", then use the root of the anion name, then "ic". For example, HNO3, the anion is nitrate, so the acid name is nitric acid. If the anion ends in "ite", then use the root of the anion name plus us. For example, H2SO3, the anion is sulfite, so the acid is sulfurous acid. Here are some examples. Pause the video for a minute or two, or the presentation, and see if you can name these acid formulas. The first one, the anion is phosphate, so the acid name is phosphoric acid. And the next one, hypochlorite, so hypochlorous acid. Next one, the anion is fluoride, so the acid name is hydrofluoric acid. And in the fourth one, the anion is sulfide, so the name of the acid is hydrosulfuric acid. If you're going from a name to a formula, you're going to figure out the anion name. There are a few rules for doing this. If the acid name begins with hydro, that means the anion ends in IDE. So hydroselenic acid, the anion is selenide, Se2-. If the acid doesn't begin with hydro but ends in ic, then the anion ends in ate. So if you're given arsenic acid, the anion is arsenate, which is ASO4 3-. If the acid ends in us, then the anion ends in ite. Iodous acid, the anion is iodite, which is IO2-. Then you're going to add enough H+ ions to make a neutral compound. For selenide, you need 2 hydrogens. For arsenide, you need 3 hydrogens. And for iodite, you need 1. Here are some examples. You might want to stop the recording and try these on your own. The first one, the anion is sulfate, H2SO4. The second one, the anion is sulfite. And of course, since both sulfate and sulfite have a -2 charge, you need 2 hydrogens to go with each of them. In this compound, the anion is sulfide, so that's S2-, so we need 2 hydrogen ions. In this one, the anion is perbromate, so we need 1 hydrogen to go with BrO4-, so the formula is HBrO4. And the next one, the anion is acetate, and that of course is C2H3O2-, and so we're going to add 1 hydrogen ion in order to make a neutral compound. And that's it. Don't make it harder than it is.